In practice, JavaScript was originally designed to run inside browsers. In fact, to run JavaScript, you don't even need to download anything in case you have a web browser installed on your computer, since every web browser has a built-in JavaScript engine which executes JavaScript code. For example, you can open up Chrome and press Ctrl plus Shift plus J, and it's going to open up a console. And in this console, you can write almost any JavaScript statement, and it's going to execute that statement almost immediately. For example, you can write console.log hello world and press enter, and it displays the result. This undefined means that the console log statement itself didn't return anything. We will learn more about what return values mean in one of the upcoming sections, so you don't have to worry about this at all right now. We can also directly write expressions here. For example, we can write a mathematical expression, 1 plus 2, and it's going to display the result right away, without needing to explicitly output it using a console log statement. This kind of a console is available in almost every modern browser. However, the shortcut for accessing it might be slightly different based on the browser you're using. Another way to access this console is to right-click, click Inspect, and go to the console tab from right here. And this is going to show you the console. Similar to the console log statement, there is one more statement which is specific to the browsers, and that is known as the alert statement. The syntax is very similar to the console log statement, except it only takes a single argument. So here you can write some text. This is a sentence. It basically shows an alert or a pop-up box here. So at this point, it's understood that JavaScript engine is embedded in every modern browser. However, you might be wondering, what exactly is the role of JavaScript? To understand this, we need to understand how web pages are made. So typically, there are three core languages that are used in making a web page, namely HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So HTML is used for defining the overall structure, or more like a skeleton of the web page. And then CSS is used for adding life to that web page by defining colors and the styling of various elements and how those elements appear on the screen. Finally, the role of JavaScript is quite important, since JavaScript is used for making those web pages interactive. For example, using JavaScript, we can specify what happens when a user interacts with a button or some other element on the web page. We can understand this better with a small example. So here I've written some code in HTML. You don't have to understand any of the following code, but this basically adds some elements to the web page. So if we open up this HTML document in a browser, it's going to look something like this. Now I can import some CSS code into the HTML document to define the styling. And now if I refresh the page, it's going to look something like this. So as explained before, CSS adds styling. However, there's still something missing, and that is the functionality. So here I've written some JavaScript code for defining the functionality of the sliders. And once again, you don't have to understand any of this at the present moment. But all this code does is it basically sets the size of the first and the second square based on the values of these sliders. And the size of the third square is basically set to the sum of the sizes of the first two squares. So now I'll import this code into the web page. If I refresh it, I'm expecting that the functionality will be working as well. So if I drag this slider, it correctly updates the values. So basically, by adding some JavaScript code, we added functionality to this web page. In the past, JavaScript was only used in web browsers for making websites interactive. It was a part of the browser, and therefore it was not possible to run JavaScript anywhere else, for example, outside of the browser. However, in 2009, a developer named Ryan Dahl created Node.js, which is a very popular tool that lets us run JavaScript outside of a browser. This change opened up a lot of new possibilities. So now with Node.js, you can build many types of applications that can run outside of a browser. For example, you can even make mobile apps or video games, or applications related to artificial intelligence.